You've been told to seek answers outside yourself, but what if true guidance has always been within? This isn't about looking harder, it's about listening differently. Discover the profound secret to accessing your inner compass and unlock a transformative way to navigate life's complexities with effortless wisdom. In the shadow of the misty Hōkō-ji mountains of Japan, there was a quiet temple known to few. Nestled among towering cedars and singing cicadas, the temple was home to a Zen master named Ryokan. He was an old monk, barely speaking unless necessary, yet those who met him swore they walked away lighter, as though a veil had been lifted from their minds. Pilgrims traveled great distances to ask him life's most difficult questions, and yet Ryokan never offered direct answers. Instead, he would smile gently and say, "Listen, the one who knows already speaks." Among those pilgrims was a young woman named Aiko. Born into a family of scholars, Aiko had been taught to value intellect, logic, and external knowledge. From childhood, her days were filled with books, exams, and the pressure of perfection. Though she achieved much and was praised widely, she often felt hollow. Every decision she made seemed correct on paper but left her spirit restless. One autumn morning, after a particularly sleepless night filled with anxiety about a life-changing decision, whether to accept a prestigious government post or follow her heart into the unknown, Aiko left everything behind and walked for days toward the mountains, seeking clarity from the old Zen master. When she arrived at the temple, Ryokan greeted her not with words but with tea. He poured it slowly, the steam rising like incense, and offered her a seat on the porch. They drank in silence as golden leaves fluttered down around them. "I need your wisdom," Aiko finally said, placing her cup down. "I'm lost." Ryokan looked at her with kind, weathered eyes. "Then perhaps it's time to stop searching and begin listening. But I have listened to my teachers, my parents, the advisors." He interrupted gently. "Not to them, to you." That evening, Ryokan gave Aiko a simple task. He handed her a bamboo broom and asked her to sweep the garden paths at sunrise. "Sweep until the path is clear," he said. At first, Aiko thought it was symbolic. She swept carefully, thinking about her life. She analyzed every metaphor. Is the path my mind? The broom my discipline? But the more she tried to find meaning, the more frustrated she became. Leaves kept falling. The path never stayed clear. Days passed. Each morning, she swept. She began to stop thinking and simply moved with the rhythm of the broom. The sound of brushing, the crisp air, and the smell of earth began to calm her. One morning, Ryokan stood beside her as she swept. "You sweep and still the leaves fall," he said. "Yes," she replied. "It never ends. Yet do you notice how the sweeping has changed you?" She paused. She did. Her mind felt less crowded. Her heart less anxious. She was no closer to an answer about her future, but she was no longer desperate for one either. There was peace in simply being. Ryokan nodded. "The path doesn't need to stay clear. You only need to see it." That night, Ryokan told her a story. There was once a man who climbed a mountain to find a legendary mirror that revealed truth. He searched for years, battled storms, and finally found the cave that held the mirror. But when he looked into it, he saw only himself. He grew angry. "This cannot be the truth. I have sacrificed so much." He shattered the mirror. But behind the glass shards, he discovered a still pond. When he gazed into it, the surface rippled, but then grew calm. And in that stillness, he saw not just his reflection, but his essence, not his face, but his being. The mirror had always been there. The storm was in him. Aiko listened in silence. Something within her stirred, an old voice she had long ignored. The next morning, Aiko meditated at the temple's edge. She sat not to gain answers, but to listen. Not to the world, but to the whisper inside, the one she had buried beneath accolades, expectations, and fear. A breeze passed, the sound of a bird, the crunch of her breath, then something subtle but unmistakable, an inner shift. She remembered how as a child she loved to paint, to walk barefoot in forests, to ask questions no one could answer. That version of her had not disappeared. She had only been silenced. In that silence now, she spoke. "I don't need to know the outcome," Aiko realized. "I only need to walk the path I hear calling." Ryokan appeared beside her. "Then your compass has awakened." Zen teaches that wisdom is not gained through accumulation, but through subtraction, letting go of distractions to hear the still small voice within. This voice is not loud, it is not insistent, it does not shout over the noise of the world. It waits for us to become quiet enough to notice. Aiko remained at the temple a few more days, but the decision had already been made. Not by weighing pros and cons, but by tuning into her intuition, her inner compass. She would not take the government post. She would travel, create, and serve in her own way, trusting that life would unfold not by rigid plans, but by moment-to-moment awareness. When she left, Ryokan gave her a final teaching. Do not ask the world for permission to be yourself. The world will offer answers, but only your silence will offer truth. Years later, Aiko became known not as a scholar or politician, but as a teacher of presence. She never claimed to have answers, only questions worth asking. People traveled to see her, and she would simply smile and say, "The one who knows already speaks. Will you listen?" Epilogue, what this means for you. This story isn't just about Aiko, it's about you. You've been taught to look outside your self-validation, success, and truth. You've been conditioned to think more data will bring more clarity, more effort will bring more peace. But there's a different way, a wiser way, a Zen way. You already have an inner compass, but it doesn't speak in logic or fear. It speaks in stillness, intuition, and trust. You access it not by trying harder, but by listening differently. So sit, breathe, be still. Let the noise fall away, like autumn leaves. Sweep the path, not to keep it clean, but to walk it clearly. When you begin to hear that quiet voice inside, the one that says, "This way," follow it. Not because it guarantees certainty, but because it honors your truth. This is the journey of unlocking your inner compass. This is the way of Zen, and it is always within you. Do like, share, and subscribe for more.